There's something we have to remember when we have clients come in who are rigid or braced or held breath. Lots of times we can make the interpretation that this is a bad thing, when in fact, the fact that their system can protect itself is a really good thing. So I always highlight with my clients that it's a really good thing that they know how to protect themselves. Now, in order for that level of protection to become a lot more sustainable, though, and to not have them lead to symptoms that might feel constricting, then it's about improving the amount of support that they have and enabling true support to come through, because the gripping and the bracing and the holding, those typically are present because there's something else that's actually not doing the job that it should do, right? And so we need to enable those other parts of the body to come online so that gripping, that rigidity, and that bracing can then settle out. And so you know you're on the right track when those tissues start to settle out. And it can happen really, really quite quickly. There was an example of a client that I worked with last week who had some back pain. And when she realized that her QLs were gripping so much in every single movement that she did, when she could only move as far into the movement where her QLs did not kick in, all of a sudden her QLs started to settle out. And she recognized where she was truly limited, which was shoulders and her hips, which is not entirely surprising. Anyway, what ended up happening is she became really aware of what her actual patterns were of movement, and then was now able to work with those particular parts of her body in the range of motion where her QLs didn't then kick in. And guess what? After one session, she was completely pain and strain free for 4 or 5 days. And then she could start to feel, because this is now a habit that needs to grow, she could then feel that QL kick in, but she was aware of what was contributing to that QL kicking in. And then she told me that she was actually able to come back to the shoulders, come back to the hips, settle out the QL, and then continue to move on. So the good news here is this, is that the fact that you know how to be rigid and braced and held is a good thing, because it means that your system knows how to protect itself. And if you want to progress and create some more suppleness and some better movement overall, you get to look at other areas of your body which might not be online, and we can then help those areas get into a better functioning place so that rigidity and that bracing and that whole heldness doesn't feel the need to remain in your state. Okay, so have fun enjoying that one. Happy exploring.